Hello, party people. Welcome to NGS Division D quarterfinals. Tonight we have Waifu Warriors versus Wholesome Halfwits, the number 4 and the number 5 seed. Joining me on my co-pilot on our adventure today, fellow Division B tank player from Gilly Shark is Jinxie Cat. How are you doing, Jinxie Cat?
I am great. I am very excited to get started with these games. Both teams have fought really hard to get where they are, and I am ready to see them clash.
And Division D is always a little bit crazy, not quite as married to the meta as some of the higher division teams are. So you tend to see some off-meta stuff, some slightly quirky strategies. It's always a little bit of a wild card, so it's always one of my favorite things about casting Division D.
Yeah, I agree. I know the other day we had some wins with a Brightwing and a Rexar, and so I am so excited to see heroes like that come out because personally, like, I'm a Brightwing main. I love Brightwing. I love Rexar. I love non-meta champions because it feels like the further up the ladder you go, I'm like, oh, well, they banned this and they banned this. I guess I'll do that. And my team's like, GG. So I am ready to go. I'm ready to see these wild picks.
All right, well, both teams have thrown out the R, and we will be on Infernal Shrines for Game 1. That was the choice of the Wholesome Halfwits. So let's get this show on the road. All right, so far looking good. I haven't messed up anything yet, so that's great.
Yeah.
So first ban will be by Waifu. I'm going to pronounce that, I think, 3 different ways, probably before the night's over. Waifu Warriors. And at this point in the season, all of these teams have played each other. There are stats available from Nexus Gaming Series. The VODs are out there. Unless one of these teams really sneaks in a surprise first-time strategy, they probably know each other pretty well, so we could very easily see some targeted bans. And it is going to be Garrosh, banned out by the Waifu Warriors.
I think that's a pretty strong ban. You know, Garrosh is a game-changing hero early on. In the beginning, probably before level 10, he throws one of your teammates, and you just kind of have to wave to them from afar.
Absolutely true, especially with the Diablo rework where they kind of took out his burst assassin capability that he had late game. He could really crush that Garrosh. Now that that hero doesn't exist as much, and he can be very difficult to kill with that armor. He kind of baits the enemy into chasing him, and it looks like he's so close to dying, and he may not be. Maya?
Yeah, I've been that chaser before. We see the Dahaka pick up right after the Maiev ban. I think that's great. Global is always strong on big maps like Infernal Shrines. Plus the CC that he provides is great for the team. You know, he can burrow in, get a tongue on the back line, and then suddenly you're in a 4v5.
I realized we're not getting any sound. There's my first one. It was going to happen from the game. They could hear us. They couldn't hear the game.
Oh.
But now they should be able to. So at least we caught it, I believe, before the game. We're going to double check here. Okay. Should be good. All right. So a Dahaka first pick on Infernal Shrines, Global, Bruiser, soaking in the offlane, and then a Deckard. I have seen Deckard be... Why am I not getting any sound from my game? I've seen Deckard be highly prioritized. I've seen him be ignored, and I've seen widely varied opinions on where he is in the meta and how strong he is. Jinxie Cat, what's your hot take on Deckard Cain?
I think Deckard's great. My team personally has been learning him, picking him up, and I necessarily don't think that it's the heals that make him so powerful. It's the CC. You know, he's got his own combo. Once you become a good Deckard, it's just frustrating to get caught in those roots. You see them slowly unfurling, and you know you're not going to make it. So I'm really excited. I think he's quite game changing, and he's a good counter to heroes like Garas. Like, granted, we won't see him in this series, but other heavy engaged tanks, etc. such, you know, you can stop his power slide dead cold. I think he's great. I'm looking forward to seeing him in this game.
I agree. I think the most powerful part of his kit. I'm going to try to turn the music on to see if. Let's see if. Bad hots. The most powerful part of Deckard's kit is definitely the large AOE CC that he has. 2 different abilities, and no other healer can provide that same kind of area.
Yeah, I agree. There are very few, you know, good CC healers at the moment that are meta. The only thing I can think that comes close is Stukov's Silence, but that requires him to be stationary unless you pick the talent at level 13, I believe it is. And then maybe Rhaegar, who has the 90% slow on his totem at level 16. But then again, you're waiting until levels 13 and 16, whereas Deckard right off the bat has this incredible combo.
And we kind of glossed over it, but the Waifu Warriors went with the Johanna Kerrigan. Johanna is kind of making a little bit of a resurgence in the meta, and this is one of her stronger battlefields. She's probably the best main tank at clearing out those little Shrine Guardians. And Kerrigan, which we don't see too much of lately, but back when she was the hotness, if you were to pick her on a battlefield, it was Infernal Shrine. So this is probably her best battlefield.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how the Waifu Warriors are going to use the Kerrigan combo and how they're going to prevent Kerrigan from jumping into the Deckard combo, or if they're going to try and go all out and, you know, maybe wait for the Deckard combo and then just pull them. They say, you have your combo, and now you're going to come to us.
And we have a Stukov band coming out for Wholesome Halfwits, and a Ragnaros coming band out by the Waifu Warriors, and then a pretty quick rotation of Gul'dan Sonya. So Bruiser is picked out, Wave Clear Assassin and Gul'dan picked out. Last 2 picks to round out the composition for the Waifu Warriors. Who are we going to see coming out? Obviously a ranged assassin and a support, but who do you want to see?
I think that, looking at this team, a cleanse support would be good. Malfurion would also be good as well, I think. You know, they have 2 really big, heavy damage frontliners there with Diablo and Sonya, so Malfurion roots would be good. Rhaegar, I think, would be great because he is the slow, so that makes the engage a little bit harder for Diablo and Sonya. Also, another impactful thing might be Uther with the Divine Shield. You know, you could have Divine Kerrigan go in with their combo, use her Psystorm, and she could get a lot of damage in for free.
Yeah, the thing with the Divine Shielded Kerrigan is she dives in, she pops the Maelstrom, and if you get the D-Shield, the whole time she's in there not taking damage, she's still building up her shield. So actually on the back end of that, she has a really strong well of shields built up for when that Divine Shields expire. So if you can time that right, that tool can be very powerful, and it's going to be a Malfurion Jaina. So the side of Waifu Warriors, a lot of wave clear, a lot of burst potential with Kerrigan, Jaina, and a lot of CC. The Johanna stun slows, Kerrigan stun, Jaina slow, Malfurion roots. A pretty well-rounded composition coming out by the Waifu Warriors, combined with a global from Dahaka.
Yeah, I think this is a phenomenal team draft. They've got, like you said, lots of wave clear, lots of CC. I don't know if Deckard's going to be able to heal for this. This sounds crazy, but what I think I might like to see here is maybe like a Zarya in a triple warrior comp. I feel like that's the only way they might be able to survive all this burst damage. So many slows, you know, Condemn into Kerrigan, into Dahaka with this Jaina dumping on top of them. And it is going to be a Junkrat instead, which I like the Junkrat. I think the Mine is going to offer a lot in disrupting the combo because you look at the side of Waifu Warriors and they are a lot of combo. And if you disrupt that combo, they kind of aren't very strong as individual pieces.
Yeah, that's true. Now, Junkrat will have to be pretty quick on the trigger to time that with the combo, but if he can do it, That could be very disruptive to what the Waifu Warriors are trying to do.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing he could do is throw out his trap early and his explosion, and then like hopefully land them on the back line. So even if there is a Kerrigan combo, he just has to sit in the back, poke from afar, and then activate his explosion, and then all of a sudden all the follow up onto Kerrigan's combo isn't there, and then it's just Kerrigan sitting in their team waiting to be devoured.
Sorry, I'm a little quiet because I'm trying to race the loading screen to get these inputted in so we can use the awesome graphics that NGS has provided us with the cartography system. And did I beat it? Did I beat the loading screen? I think I did.
I'm still on the loading screen. Diablo's loading. It looks like you
got it.
That's beautiful.
I got it. All right. So game 1 here on Infernal Shrines. The blue team, which will be Waifu Warriors, we have Flame Tree on Johanna. How did we? Sparks on Kerrigan, Hentai Master on Dahaka, Byron 1 on Jaina, and Wheezy Fish on Malfurion.
This is definitely a mouthful of names for us. And on the red team, we have Dr. Jelly, I have no idea. I am so sorry, friend, is playing Junkrat. Sonia is Malice Mal. Gul'dan is Guac Cousteau. Deckard Cain is by Malavile. And Dragon Slayer is playing Diablo.
Now, I have no idea, but for some reason, the volume for heroes is coming through. It's just really low. Hold on, let's be quiet here for a second. Okay, it is there. It's just too low. I'm going to turn it up.
All right, we see a lot of damage, and Diablo will fall there. It's really unfortunate that since his change, he's a little bit weaker in the early game, a little bit weaker in the late game too. And just, ooh, the punishment. There it is, the Junkrat Mai, but not enough focus to get her away, and Gul'dan will fall. That is 2 for nothing on the side of the Waifu Warriors.
All right, well, while you were doing that so wonderfully, we're going to turn this up. I think I'm actually going to have to do one more thing. Oh, I hate doing this in game, but I want people to hear the game.
I completely understand. I can go ahead and just chat and shut up when you need me to. Everybody has rotated their lanes. We do have Dahaka and Diablo up in the solo lane. That is easily a lane in favor of Dahaka just based on his stand. Gul'dan alone, he will get away from the Kerrigan combo. He saw that coming. There was a gank attempt, but not today. We do see the Wholesome Halfwits rotating up with Junkrat and Deckard Cain. And now there is nobody in the bottom lane for either team.
All right.
So he does get hit by the Kerrigan combo. I'm sorry, what was that?
I have no clue, honestly, why this is so low. But, oh, wait a minute. Well, that's a little bit better. Okay, I do have a solution to this. So both teams getting into a pretty nice rotation. However, those early kills putting the Waifu Warriors up just a little bit.
Definitely. I think it would be the best interest of the Wholesome Halfwits to just kind of sit back, try and lane carefully. You know, we see this Sonya out here in the bottom lane is really far forward. She does get hit by the Condemn, and there's Kerrigan just waiting in the back. She doesn't go out for a combo this time, but I think that might be just a little bit too aggressive on the side of the Wholesome Halfwits.
All right. Enough with that. I think we got it close enough.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's not great.
Oh no!
It's still a little low.
Death by Gul'dan, again, standing too far out. And this is not looking good early game for the Wholesome Halfwits. I think maybe what might help is if they were to send Sonya up to fight Dahaka in the solo lane, as she is a better solo laner, and then have Diablo. Oh no! So
we do have a pause from one of the teams here that actually might work out well for me because I can monkey with this more. Yeah, normally you're going to see Sonya in the solo against the Dahaka. That's the Sonya role, so it's definitely a little bit unusual to see them send Diablo up there instead of the Sonya. They did leave her on the Merc camps, which is something she does well too, but definitely Sonya better matched up than that Dahaka.
Yeah, I agree. It is a pause on the side of the Waifu Warriors. They had a small DC. The other team is ready. I guess we're just waiting to see if one of their members comes back. And if they're DCing, they're playing it off well. I didn't even know. I figured it might be on the other side. Gul'dan is a little bit far forward. Sonya's a little bit far forward. I have to give credit to the Wholesome Halfwits, though. They did take the camp faster than the Waifu Warriors, if we're looking at it right over here.
All right, we do have 2 R's from both teams, so I'm going to stop monkeying with this, and I'm going to count this down. All right, and then I will switch back to the game. And Jinxie Cat, do me one quick favor. See if you can turn yourself down just a tiny, tiny bit.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Sonya gets almost caught by the Kerrigan combo. The Mouth Root is there, plus the Jaina Blizzard puts a hurting on Sonya, but she limps away and does hit the sippy cup.
Is this volume better for you?
A little bit lower.
How's that? Is that too low?
Nope, you're actually still good. You should be in a good range now. Just don't get too excited and yell at anybody, and we should be all right.
Oh gosh, you chose the wrong co-caster then, my friend. All right, we do see the Diablo flip onto the Johanna, but she has her trait. She will get away. Sonya taking a ton of damage. She is able to go away, but she doesn't have her tap. She's gonna have to walk through the potions, and right now she's not doing a good job of that. She is stunned out of her whirlwind, so that is no more healing for her. Kerrigan giving her a heck of a time. She gets hit by another combo. The Deckard Root does save the day, though. The Waifu Warriors have a great strategy of capitalizing with the Blizzard on the Kerrigan combo, and we will see Sonya fall. That's really unfortunate for them. She just wasn't walking through potions.
Waifu Warriors, their health bars are really low on the backside of this as Junkrat and Guak Cousteau on Gul'dan continue to poke from a distance. Maybe a little bit of a mistake there by Wholesome Halfwits. They did engage onto this shrine a little bit early while Gul'dan was finishing up the top bruiser, so this whole engagement started with a little bit of a 5-on-4 in favor of the Waifu Warriors.
Yeah, definitely. Now we're continuing to see the 5-on-4, and it may even be, yep, there it is, 3-4 with just Deckard, Junkrat, and Gul'dan, and their health bars are just so small they can't stay. Sonya is coming back, but I think it's in their best interest to give this up and try and cut their losses, going and soaking in other lanes.
Yeah, that's something teams don't do enough of, I don't think, is Wholesome Halfwits is not really going to accomplish very much by staying up here. The objective is clearly lost. Sonya really should have rotated to the mid lane, and there she goes now to help mitigate the XP loss by losing this Punisher as much as you can, as early as you can.
Yeah, definitely. They had 5 up top, which I feel like is something you never want to do until, later in the game. Gul'dan does finish his Fell Flame quest, and I'm actually really surprised. Usually you see Corruption here. They did bait the Punisher over, which is great by the Wholesome Halfwits. They only lose the gate. Punisher is at about quarter health, and I think it's about time for the Waifu Warriors to start backing out.
I imagine Guak Cousteau, one of my very favorite names to cast, on Gul'dan was probably thinking with the Q build triple front line on the side of Waifu Warriors. It's going to be pretty easy to stack that Fell Flame.
That is a great point. We see Kerrigan taking a ton of damage right here. Johanna taking a ton of damage. They are able to safely... Oh, just kidding. Kerrigan with the corruption damage out of nowhere will fall to Gul'dan. And that is the first kill on the side of the Wholesome Halfwits.
Yeah, if you're playing a Malfurion and you don't have anybody around to Moonfire, you don't really have that heal on demand to keep her up. That poison damage was just too much to overcome. And we do have Dahaka and Sonya finally squaring off in the off lane as well.
Yeah, it looks like we're setting up for a potential gank here, and Jaina may be following right into the traps. There are 3 of them, and she is so far forward. She used all of her escape CC. Diablo going with a push, and then she falls into the root. Oh no, this is going to be a kill on Byron 1.
Yeah, I think, it obviously didn't matter so much because they secured the kill, but Dragon Slayer was a little preemptive on that Shadow Charge. Jaina's got 0 mobility. He wanted to wait for her to get in that choke to get the actual wall charge down, but Deckard Cain was there to back up Dragon Slayer and landed the big root to secure the gank kill. So despite... despite the early struggles of Wholesome Halfwits, you look up at the experience bar and it's very close.
Yeah, both teams will most likely be 10. by the time the next objective is up. Wholesome Halfwits just a smidge behind, but they are just about to get their 10s right here. I don't think that there's anything that Waifu Warriors can do to force a fight with 10s before. Nope, here it is, and it is going to be Apocalypse, Stay a While and Listen, Wrath of the Berserker, Riptire, and Gul'dan going with the Horrify. All right, so completely standard.
Yeah, I think you could have gone out on a limb and said Gul'dan picks the Horrify before he actually did, but this is turning into a bloodbath. Kerrigan, Malfurion, and Gul'dan all going down in short order, everybody pressing their R buttons, and a small victory there for Wholesome Halfwits getting the 2-for-1 trade.
Yeah, definitely. Great job by the Wholesome Halfwits. You know, Gul'dan is a slower form of wave clear. They still have the Sonya up, and I think that's their most important tool on the Shrine, that and the Junkrat. We do see Sonya, however, going down to the bottom mercenary camp. I don't know if it's necessarily the best time to do it because she will have about 20 seconds delay to rotate up to the Shrine, and everybody is coming down bottom. I'm wondering if... Oh, just kidding. Waifu Warriors does not get the gank on Sonya.
Now, we didn't go over those Waifu Warriors ultimates. We have the Blessed Shield on Johanna, Twilight Dream on Malfurion, Ring of Frost on Jaina, actually Isolation on the Dahaka, I believe. Yes, it is. And, of course, Maelstrom on Kerrigan. About 20 seconds before their heroics come online, so small window of opportunity from Wholesome Halfwits as their cooldowns on heroics a little bit shorter.
I'm wondering why we didn't see the Tranquility on the side of Malfurion. Granted that the Waifu Warriors do have a big front line, but so do Wholesome Halfwits with the Sonya and the Diablo. And like you were saying earlier, if you don't have anyone to Moonfire, you can't really stay in the fight as Malfurion. I think that the big burst damage from the Junkrat, as well as the consistent poison damage from the Gul'dan, calls for Tranquility.
Yeah, that would have definitely helped negate the poke from Junkrat as well as the poke from Gul'dan. However, big tip of the hats to Wholesome Halfwits. The Stay a While and Listen APOC combo executed extremely well and absolutely crushed Waifu Warriors on that team fight.
Yeah, 3-0. This is definitely taking a huge favor, a huge twist in the side of the Wholesome Halfwits. Excuse me, I can't find my words. I get too excited watching Heroes of the Storm. They will get this middle fort, and I think it might be in the best interest now. Oh, they have 50%. Get a tower here.
Yeah, you can get a little extra pressure on there. You never know when that free damage will pay off later.
You have the jump, but I think it's about time for Wholesome Halfwits to back out. Maybe try and see if they can't get some extra experience in a lane, maybe gank Dahaka. We see Junkrat heading up that way, and is this going to be a Dahaka gank?
Certainly looks that way. So a game that started off so well for Waifu Warriors, and now they're about a level behind, slightly behind in siege structure with one of their forts falling. When I was preparing for the overlays for this game, Jinxie Cat, Cartography has this really cool, and there's an initiate onto Diablo, no hesitation by Sparks. The Stay and While Listen to try to get Dragon Slayer out alive is successful. So Deckard came to the rescue because Diablo was going to be in a world of trouble without his support coming up big.
Definitely great plays to save Diablo by the side of Wholesome Halfwits. Unfortunately, they did have to use two big cooldowns with the Stay a While and Listen and the Riptire. You know, those are 70 and 80 second cooldowns, and this is really the time for Waifu Warriors to make something big happen. They are on the same talent tier. There are two big ultimates down. This could be turning considering how beneficial their wombo combo is for them.
Yeah, I think it'll be up in time for the objective, but saving Diablo's souls if he would have lost them there is a pretty big deal. He gets so much more durable when he has full stacks of souls.
Definitely.
You know what? I just noticed, speaking of, he's got a little icon under him now when he has it on Dibbles, and I never saw that until right this moment. That is super cool. I wonder how new that is.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is the first time I've seen it too. Oh, a whiffed Horrify. Gul'dan in a ton of trouble, and he will fall. Diablo taking a ton of trouble. The APOC does go out. Deckard Cain is horribly abused in the backline. He does get out. Diablo is so low, and he will fall. He does have the souls, as you stated earlier, but now that is no ultimates. Save. Oh, I guess they have stay a while and retire up again. But still, that's a lot of resources to be using just before the objective.
Well, and the timing for Waifu Warriors couldn't have been better because 16 is right here on the horizon for Wholesome Halfwits. Sonya was clearly showing in the top lane. They knew that was a 5v4 and a really nice aggression there. Deckard Cain looks like he would be easier to take down, but for an old man, he is surprisingly tanky. He just kind of walked out of that.
Oh, he is a resilient old man, yes. Have you ever tried to just solo kill a Deckard? It is really, really hard.
It's surprisingly hard. And what I started to say before all of those kills started piling up, in cartography, they have a very cool scene put together by NGS where you can put their like keys to the game. Oh, a huge four-man stay a while and listen. Riptire, Kerrigan, both teams feeling each other, but the Riptire...
Oh my goodness!
Destroys Johanna and Kerrigan. Somehow Deckard gets credit for the kill on the Kerrigan. It certainly looked like the Junkrat Riptire to me.
I thought for sure it was the Riptire. Oh, Dahaka taking so much damage that it is essence, and the Junkrat does poof the Dahaka into nothingness, and that is the entire front line of the Waifu Warriors. This is a free shrine for the Wholesome Halfwits.
It is free. What I started to say a third time is they have this really cool scene called Keys to the Game, where as a caster you can look up stats. There is a statistical database for Nexus Gaming Series with all kinds of cool stuff in there to compare teams and players. And so I started going into the stat sheets to compare these teams and put together like a Keys to the Game kind of thing. And I stopped about halfway through because statistically these teams were basically side by side in nearly every statistical category. They are so close. Waifu Warriors did end up with a better record on the season, but statistically these teams almost identical. There's the Stay a While and the APOC.
Oh my gosh, the Stay a While and the APOC. It's so... Oh, Kerrigan falls again. There's the ring, but it does nothing. Johanna falls. Dahaka falls. Malfurion taking a ton of damage, and he may not get out either. This Punisher is looking for blood. I feel Dahaka, or Diablo, pardon me, is looking for blood, and down goes Malfurion. That's a 4-for-0 on the side of Waifu Warriors. Really unfortunate. They lose a fort here, and I think that Wholesome Halfwits are looking to press the keep. Only Jaina's alive and she's a quarter health. She better be very careful because if that Punisher jumps on her, she's dead.
Yeah, you really... I mean, if you're Byron, you don't do anything here, basically. You may as well just go back and fill up. You're not going to catch the Punisher. You're not going to throw any damage out because she's going to die if she stays there. The keep is done. Byron needs to just back up. It's really fascinating as a caster and observer to watch an internal big jump by John Cena. Sparks going deep onto the backline, onto Guac Cousteau. Dragon Slayer there to peel, and Kerrigan goes down. A huge Twilight Dream is going to end up setting up Deckard Cain to be killed. However, Malfurion pays shortly after. Everybody's health bar is very low. Core still has the shields up. I don't know if they can core. Well, if they get the Dahaka, they might be able to. Junkrat.
Oh man, and the Riptire comes out. Boop, down goes Dahaka, down goes Jaina, and only for Johanna alive to defend this, and it is going to be a win on the side of the Wholesome Halfwits.
Yeah, game one going to Wholesome Halfwits after a really rough start. They absolutely roared back. I love seeing the internal meta develop in these matches, and I think if you're the side of Waifu Warriors, you cannot let them get a hold of the combination of Diablo and Deckard Cain again. That can't happen.
Oh, definitely. If I had to have an MVP at the end of this game, it would be Malavile on Deckard. Those stay-a-whiles were so impactful. I think every single one of his ults was beneficial for the side of the Wholesome Halfwits. And you look at these end game stats, 9 to 18 in favor of the Wholesome Halfwits. Red team really putting in a lot of work, playing safely later in the game once they got behind, and then finally ending the game with a 4-level lead. They were just about to pick their 20s right as the Waifu Warriors had 16 and a half. So great job by him.
And not just a 4-level lead, but over twice the healing numbers coming out. Deckard compared to Mafurian, 63k to 30k. You can't win a game if you're getting out-healed by 2 to 1. That's a pretty tall order. Wholesome Halfwits first pick Deckard, if I recall, or second pick, it was very high. They clearly prioritize him. And if you're Waifu Warriors, I think you have to seriously consider a Deckard Kane ban for Game 2.
I definitely agree. Are we looking at the second game now, or should we continue focusing the...
Both of the... I'm whispering the captain now. The loser of Game 1 gets to choose whether they want map pick or first hero pick. And so we're going to whisper Sparks now to see which way they want to go. While we have a few minutes to vibe here, I think congratulations are in order for you guys on the big upset win, Gilly Shark, last night over Totem Annihilation. For those of you who are watching, if you did not see Game 2 of that series, go watch. It was absolutely crazy how that game went. One of the most entertaining series you will ever see. And what was the chatter like, the comms like after that Game 2?
Oh, man. Well, Stark is our shot caller, and straight up, I was like, I owe you a beer. I thought we had lost the game. They dropped our core to 21%. We had the boss pushing theirs, and I thought for sure they were going to go to those temples, and we were going to have to take it to Game 3, but they chose to defend the core instead, and after that, we all kind of... collectively sighed, unclenched, and then was like, let's go play some brawl and calm down because we are way too high adrenaline to go to bed. It's like midnight over there for those guys on the east. I'm on the west side, and yeah, we just congratulated each other. We thanked each other as a team. This is the cleanest games series we've played this season. So I got a beer. I don't know what the rest of the team did, and played a brawl. Had to de-stress after that game because it was so devastating for us. I mean, the ending was phenomenal, but the last 7 minutes of the game.
I believe your teammate is that Chymotripsin. That's your teammate, yes. Right? In chat is asking, where is the NGS stats site you were talking about? Go on to the NGS server. Find Falendrith on there somewhere. He has Stats of the Storm. It's a stats collector for heroes, and then there's an NGS database. It is 100% worth spending a couple minutes to set up. It is absolutely fantastic, so that's where you find that. I was in the same boat as you, Jinxie Cat. When I was watching the last couple minutes of that game, I was like, well, here comes Game 3. But no. So go see it if you haven't. Congratulations to you guys again. Division B East is completely up in the air because the top two seeds, Totem Annihilation and Uncomfortably Numb, both upset. I casted the Uncomfortably Numb game. Their opponents, the One Tricks, pulled out Vikings and all kinds of weird stuff. And the captain at the end said, we watched their games, we knew we couldn't beat them standard, so we went weird, and it really worked. So Division B East completely up in the air. Still waiting for map choice coming out from Wholesome Halfwits. Come here, Bubba. It's okay. Come here, Bubba.
We're going to take care of you.
Oh, okay. Here, come here, real quick. Wave. There you go. Okay, go have fun with mom.
Okay.
My daughter paying a little visit. Okay, good job. Shut the door for me, please. All right, so still waiting for those guys. They were running a little long. Map choice.
You can do it.
I believe.
Wait, are you waiting for
Yes, Wholesome Halfwits map choice.
We'll take Cursed Hollow.
Cursed Hollow. You jumped in the lobby. It kind of surprised. Okay, Cursed Hollow will be game 2, courtesy of the Wholesome Halfwits. So let's get that show on the road. Cursed Hollow, I think, the oldest Heroes map, or one of them certainly. Probably the most traditionally MOBA-esque. I don't know how exactly to word that of all the battlefields. And double
Definitely
boss.
has its league homage, I feel.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. All right. So creating the lobby now. When you are on Cursed Hollow, what are you prioritizing, Jinxie?
I know our team, we definitely like kicking Dahaka for the solo lane just because, he has the global to beat anywhere. Falstad is also a great choice. And I think it really comes down to 2 different types of team comps. Team comps that can poke indefinitely and allow someone such as Dahaka or Falstad to get a soak in another lane, and then you just win by the large experience gap, or you look for a really strong team fighting team, like a good sustaining team that can just fight over the point forever, like a Muradin, an Arthas, low mana cost healer, like maybe someone like Stukov who can just continuously throw the heals around. Lots of sustained damage. Auto attackers are there great, and I think also maybe like a Li Ming. So that's what I think it really comes down to.
One of the reasons I like both Shrines, the last map we were on, and Cursed, and I think they're fairly popular in kind of competitive type settings, is there really isn't like a one single best strategy on them. You can really put anything that kind of makes sense on the board on either one of those maps. There's lots of different strategic decisions you can make to try to win the game. Shrines, that applies as well. I don't think we'll see it this game, but in the aforementioned Uncomfortably Numb, the One Tricks game, this was the map they busted out the Lost Vikings on.
Yeah, I was. I remember me and my team, we were scrimming, and our teammates just had it open in the background on one of their other monitors, and they were like, guys, the One Tricks just took Uncomfortably Numb. And we were like, what? And then they were like, they just picked the Lost Vikings in the second map. We were like, what? And then, they won. And we were, oh my goodness. They're our scrim partners. They're good friends of ours. So we were just like, oh my God, messaging them back and forth. Good job. Hello, Dixie. My Great Dane has come to say hello.
We have all kinds of cameos here. We're a family-friendly environment. All right, so looks like we are going to get the R's from both teams here in a minute. We have the R from Waifu Warriors.
Please go away.
And the R from Wholesome Halfwits, and here we go.
I love you, but not now. Yes, you'll have to forgive me, Twitch chat. I have very hyper dogs. It's right around walk time, and so if you sound like there's murder going on in the background, it's just an old man fighting with my other dog.
There's the Insta-Deckard ban. No hesitation.
Man, they do not want that to stay a while. The respect ban.
Not even going to play with it again, and it is not surprising in the slightest.
All right. So that begs the question, what do the Wholesome Halfwits ban?
Also a good question. And they're going to stick
Maiev
with that Maiev. Yeah.
Not want to deal with the Maiev, and I don't blame them.
Nah, Maev's really... When you have a good Maiev player, it's very difficult to go against. And first pick Dahaka again. So Waifu Warriors prioritizing the Dahaka like you suggested, kind of sticking to the script they had from last game by grabbing that global.
Looking here, I think maybe picking up another global would be good for the side of the Wholesome Halfwits just to match the Dahaka soak. Maybe Falstad, as I had mentioned earlier, would be good here. Even ETC with stage dive at level 10 would be strong, and it is the Diablo again.
Yeah, I don't mind the Falstad or the ETC. The only issue with Falstad is he's so squish and susceptible to dive. and he's just not prioritized right now. If they are going to do it, I think they can pretty safely last pick it to make sure Wholesome or Waifu Warriors isn't going to have like a Genji waiting for him in the wings or a Zeratul who just kind of insta-gives him. And Sonya Diablo, first rotation coming out from Wholesome Halfwits. So the front line is established once again with the Diablo Sonya. If it's not broken, don't fix it for Wholesome Halfwits.
Yeah, great front line. If it, yeah, exactly what you just said. I was a little bit focused on very rude animals in the background who need to go lay down in their crates. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, that is great. One thing I fear with picking the Diablo here is that since we do know that Diablo's lightning breath is bugged due to a hitbox issue, it's kind of telegraphing to them what your ultimate is going to be. Like, they now know, ooh, the Varian.
Stukov.
Varian Stukov. That is a lot of CC early for the Waifu Warriors.
Yeah, it's a lot of initiation CC with the drag and the taunt, but not a lot of peels to peel off a Sonya or a Diablo. So from what I can tell from Waifu Warriors, they want to be moving forward and initiated, not getting initiated onto, because the Variant Dahaka will struggle to keep a charging Diablo and a charging Sonya off and will excel on the inverse. Chromie ban coming out by Wholesome Halfwits.
That's a fair ban. Looking at the Waifu Warriors draft right now, that's a really annoying team to deal with, and it's kind of like, stay put, stay put, stay put. And I do not want to be underneath a Chromie if you're pretty much just stuck in one spot for 10 seconds.
Sure, makes perfect sense. Ban now coming out from Waifu Warriors. A support choke, I would guess. They already have Stukov. They've already banned Deckard. So many assassins are viable. I would strongly guess this is going to be either maybe an ABBA ban if they know Halfwits plays ABBA, or a support choke. Maybe like a Malfurion or an Uther with a cleanse. Something like that coming out from Waifu Warriors here, I'd guess. Or the Junkrat.
Oh, it's going to be the Junkrat, a double respect ban, not dealing with the setup, not dealing with the poke. I had to agree with you. I think a support choke might have been better. Malfurion's a great pickup here. You're fighting in a lot of crevices. Those are some big bodies you're going to have to watch out for. The Moonfire, which can benefit the whole team. But I'm kind of wondering if the Wholesome Halfwits aren't spicy enough, maybe, to pick up a wild support like Alex Straza say. That's my hope.
You took the words out of my mouth. Alex with the percentage-based healing pairs really well with the big health pool on the Diablo. Dragon Queen is so good on any kind of objective that you fight over. I still think I would have preferred a support choke coming out by Waifu Warriors. At the same time, that Riptire did work last game, so totally understand that. And we do get it. We get Alex Straza and
her
Cassia.
royal thickness, as Bahamut called it, and I love it.
I love that name. I haven't heard that before. That's really good.
Thick thighs save lives. That's my justification for picking her. Oh man, I love the Alex Straza. I know that HGC never picks Alex Straza for anything like this, but on any kind of map with a choke and an objective, i.e. all of them, I love Alex Straza just because it's sit in the background and breathe fire all over the enemy. Plus, you're fighting in a choke. There's a big green circle under your enemy. You get like a 30% heal. They just die to fire.
Yeah, she is definitely niche, but in her niche, she's very good. Now, that Cassia pick is going to basically turn Waifu Warriors onto spell damage. So I want to see a circular-based spell damage like a Kael'thas to drop that Q right in the middle of that Alex Straza heal, or Li Ming does the same thing. So going into more spell damage to help negate that Cassia trade. But once again, triple frontline, solo backline damage Li Ming. If Waifu Warriors can get the taunt, the root, and the explode on the Li Ming, they will win these team fights on the resets. If they go long with an Alex Straza, I think that goes into favor of Wholesome Halfwits here, regardless of who they pick.
Yeah, definitely. Li Ming is one of the better choices on this map just because her long-range poke is so great for, forever harassing whoever's trying to cap. It pretty much comes down to sacrificing some of your teammates to sit in front and take the damage so you can safely cap. Thrall also has great poke, especially considering Dahaka might be in the solo lane. That allows him to go Crash Lightning. And Crash Lightning hurts late game.
Yeah, it does. Thrall is one of my squad's very favorite heroes right now. His damage is good. He brings CC. And there's the ABBA. I brought it up, and they went with it. So leaving nothing on the table here, Wholesome Halfwits. But one of the things I like about the Thrall is he can solo or be in the 4-man equally as effective. He can do either or, so he really leaves a lot of flexibility with what you're going to do. I do question an Abathur into a Dahaka, though. Dahaka can negate a lot of that kind of side soaking that Abathur provides. So we'll see how these teams play it.
I'm so excited for the Wholesome Halfwit draft because I really feel like this is honestly like everything we've practiced in scrims, everything we have, just putting it on the table and making it happen. I'm super excited to see how this pans out. I do agree with what you said about the Dahaka because, it's kind of a burrow to death, but I think it's a great match for the global soak. They will have to be careful in their early game shrines or tributes, excuse me, but once the clone comes out, you could have double Diablo, double Sonya, double Alexstrasza, and I think those are all just really, really strong.
You got some hungry boys back there. So while Jinxie Cat goes and deals with the big hungry dogs in the background.
Yeah, pardon me.
No
Sorry.
worries. I'll understand. We've all got lives at home here. We are almost ready here to jump into this big game 2. Waifu Warriors trying to force a game 3. Wholesome Halfwits trying to clinch the series here. On Cursed Hollow, one of the more popular competitive maps here. All right, perfect timing. I just finished what I needed to do, so we can get the show on the road.
Beautiful. I am also back. Half the house is eaten, but whatever.
All right, so the blue team here, the Waifu Warriors, we have Flame Tree on Varian, Sparks on Thrall, Hentai Master on Dahaka, Byron 1 on Li Ming, and Wheezy Fish on Stukov.
The battle begins.
And on the red team, we have Dr. Sigeli playing Abathur, Malavile on Alexstrasza, Malleus Mal on Sonya, Guat Cousteau on Cassia, and Dragon Slayer again with the Diablo.
And he played a great Diablo last game, so opting to keep him on it, no surprise there. Both these teams pretty much staying within their assigned roles. One of the other funky things from the game on Tuesday was the One Tricks moved their main tank to Viking second game, so it's quite a role swap in mid-series.
Yeah.
So
so crazy.
Yeah, Dahaka automatically goes straight to that top lane. Thrall is already in the bottom lane. So there's going to be a little bit of lost soak here from the side of Wholesome Halfwits if they don't rotate quickly, and off they go.
Yep, Sonya and Alexstrasza both going up to the top lane. Diablo scurrying down to fight Thrall in the bottom lane, and it is going to be a 2-1-2 for the side of Wholesome Halfwits. You see Diablo pressure the Thrall a little bit. He backs off. They're safely soaking.
One of the ways to counter an Abathur early game, if you can, is to put lane pressure on. Being short a body, it can be difficult to respond to wave pressure sometimes. So if that's something that the Waifu Warriors can take advantage of, we want to see that. Nice flip and charge and great body blocking by Dragon Slayer as Sparks takes a lot of poke from the towers there in the bot lane.
Yeah, definitely. You look, Thrall's already half health. One thing I really like is I'm now seeing is the Alexstrasza rotating through top and mid for her Globe Quest level 1. That'll be really great for them later on. Once she finishes that she will be able to make globes in the middle of a team fight for mana and health.
So, assuming we don't have an Abathur do anything silly like the I don't even remember the talent that doesn't exist on her. Not the clone. What's the other one with the little
Monstrosity,
Yeah,
the one we don't speak of, the one that makes you cringe in Hero League.
That is the one. Assuming we don't have a silly ABBA who goes Monstrosity, who's the clone target?
Oh gosh.
Do you go Cassia for double blinds and double damage on both Cassias? Do you go Sonya for a double Sonya, just diving all over the sort of backline, which is basically just Li Ming and Stukov?
I would actually really like to see double Diablo, because then it's just flip push into the back line, and then everybody is suddenly, a pick target. It doesn't matter whether you're a fat Varian or who has gone taunt. Good Varian is good. With Dahaka, or Li Ming with her mobility. Anybody who gets double Diablo'd is just dead.
And I think it also has to be a consideration. Of course, we don't know this, but the Abathur player, did I not? Oh my! Oh, Dr. Sigilli? How did we say we're saying that? Also, which of those heroes he is comfortable playing on? If he doesn't play Diablo, he's obviously not going to clone him. That would be curious to see.
We do get the taunt on the Sonya, taking a ton of damage. She is Sonya. The Waifu Warriors will get the first tribute. We do see Dragon Queen come out. I think that might have been a little
late,
preemptive, seeing as the fight's over, and now we have a 150-second cooldown smacking on some minions.
That was either really early or really late, because with that really long cooldown, it's not going to be up, I don't think, in time for the next tribute spawn.
Oh, definitely not. The next tribute is probably in roughly a minute. So even if we were to be generous and say a minute and a half, that's still 20 seconds they're going to have to wait for the... Oh, just kidding. Not even a minute. 30 seconds. There will be no Dragon Queen for this fight. That's kind of their big weapon early game, I feel.
Yeah, once they lost... Wow, Malaville going crazy. I want that globe. Once Wholesome Halfwits lost that tribute, I think you hold that Dragon Queen there for the next one. Either way, though, the ABBA team, Wholesome Halfwits, they really want to just win one of the first three. That way they can ensure that they have clone available before the other team gets cursed first. Nice stall by Dragon Slayer. With all these front lines, though, Wholesome Halfwits can't even get close to the tribute right now. First two easily going over to Waifu Warriors. However, ABBA has bought them about a 3/4 level lead. I don't think they're going to be 10, though, before the next tribute. And if they're not and they lose it, all of that side soak will be for naught.
Yeah, they have a very beefy team, but if you look, Cassia has one of these shorter range pokes. Alex Straza is really the only poke damage that Wholesome Halfwits has with her Fireball. And I don't know that'll necessarily be enough, considering you have to save your mana also for the Abundance.
Yeah, so definitely 10's not going to be here. Wholesome Halfwits really needs to secure this tribute here. That way both teams will be at 10 and they can fight 5-on-5 bodies. Because this 5-on-4 thing right now is really not working out for them. They just haven't been able to get close to these tributes.
All right, and it looks like we have Wholesome Halfwits setting up in the safe bush, while Waifu Warriors, very rightly so, positions aggressively. They have the right to be aggressive. They have 5 bodies. Varian already has his heroic ability. We do see the taunt onto the Alex Straza, the silence into the back line. Oh, and Dragon Queen is up again. This is the perfect time to use it, I think. You look at the back line of the Waifu Warriors. They're taking a lot of damage. Stukov heals them back up, but now they have the dragon pressure to maybe secure a kill. Or secure the tribute, I apologize. And they do, so great job by them.
That was beautiful by Malavale. The perfect timing on the Dragon Queen.
Oh, and the Varian kill early. Feels bad for the Waifu Warriors. Does the Stukov fall here as well? The Fen damage does go in, but Stukov does get away. I
mean, that's big. Not only is it going to secure that tribute, but that Dragon Queen actually secured the next one because they will have uncontested heroics. Also, Malavale rotated up to prevent or help prevent a flanking member of the Waifu Warriors who was trying to, I believe it was Thrall, stall out the channel, and she rotated up to try to zone that out. So it was really aware of the situation that time, and Johnny on the spot with the Dragon Queen.
Yeah, definitely. I was a little confused at first when I saw the wing buffet go a different direction. I was like, that doesn't work on your team, dear, but she's obviously looking at it a lot better than I did. That was great for the Waifu Warriors. They are 10 now. Standard heroics on all sides. Save Cassia with the Valkyrie, looking to maybe pull that Li Ming or Stukov in to get bullied by the front line.
Yeah, I think the Stukov would be the target because he has to go stationary to put the AoE silence in the ground. So maybe Guac Cousteau on Cassia is going to be aiming that Valkyrie at a stationary Stukov. And I was wrong. They are able to pick up 10 here in time. Isolation on Dahaka, Disintegrate at a Li Ming. It is going to be Earthquake on Thrall. Could have gone either way. Flailing Swipe and Shield Wall. Varian running for his life and finally gets taken down.
It is double. Is that Cassia I see? Yes. Dahaka falls. Cassia trying to get a little bit, or get the channel to her. Stukov stalling out as best as he can. I am so excited I cannot even speak right now. I'm trying to contain my volume for you all, and that is going to be another tribute on the side of Waifu Warriors.
And I was wondering if they were going to try to steal the boss. Li Ming may have bought enough time with the Pope for them to be able to contest this should they choose to. Thrall is starting to rotate down, and then he's changing his mind. I think they realized that with Thrall all the way in the top, they cannot contest this. Although Evolution is down, this would be a 4-on-4 if they decide to take it. Sonya eating a big stun from the boss, and they are contesting. There's the flailing swipe.
Oh, but the Diablo and the APOC. Oh, it's so good. Here comes out the cleansing flame, keeping the team alive, dealing damage to Waifu Warriors. So much damage. Earthquake comes down, but it's not enough. Dahaka will fall here. Dragon Queen again, a little bit preemptive, but they do secure the boss.
Yeah, the cleansing flame, all the members of Wholesome Halfwits stood in a circle on the boss point while Alexstrasza repeatedly hit them with heal after heal after heal. Waifu Warriors just had no way. Once the flailing swipe was out, and it was almost perfectly timed, but once that flailing swipe was out, they had no way to drive Wholesome Halfwits off the point. And if you tell me supports can't carry, I challenge you to watch this set and say that Malaville on Deckard Cain and Alexstrasza has not been his team's MVP so far in both of these games.
Oh yeah, this support is great. I love supports. I don't think they get nearly enough respect for the hard job they do. They don't get any of the glory, but this has definitely been Malaville just putting the team on his back, and now they have another boss and a curse. This is going to be so hard for the Waifu Warriors to come back from.
You know, and all of this, everything that's happening here is 100% as a result of the timing on the Dragon Queen on this top lane tribute. If they had lost that, it would have been curse for Waifu Warriors, and this entire game is 100% different. Definitely,
yeah. MVP on the support. They are looking to keep wall here, it looks like. Waifu Warriors backing up. I think that's safe. I think, seeing as they have 35 seconds left, it is in their best interest to let the keep wall die, because if they lose bodies here, I don't know if there's necessarily going to be a comeback for the... Oh no, Thrall, the Earthquake does go out, but it's not going to be enough. Stukov going in to save him, and he's going to fall as well. Li Ming, don't be as foolish as your teammates, because now they have free access to the keep. That boss is so healthy.
Yeah, this keep is going down. Those kills guaranteed that. I think a little early to look at core, but Guac Cousteau has been absolutely money as sniper with those Valkyries. Now going in deep, he's feeling good, up 4 levels, and it's hard not to. Fighting this far down is really difficult.
Oh man, the Cleansing Flame comes out again. Dahaka falls. The Waifu Warriors taking so much damage. This is the first time I think I've seen a team go into a team fight and come out with more health than when they started. Varian is so low. Thrall is so low. Varian falls. This might be core right here, and this is GG, devastating. Oh my goodness, what great play by the Wholesome Halfwits. You know, early game both games they were hesitant. I don't know, maybe this is not going to go so well for them, but then, like level 7 comes around and the team got together and they just bodied the Waifu Warriors.
Yeah, game one in particular, they seemed to, I don't know, maybe either jitters or didn't quite get in that warm up quick match before the game. But either way, after kind of a rocky start to game one, they came alive at the end of game one, and in game two, they left absolutely no doubt 12 unanswered kills and a game time win of 11 minutes and 30 seconds. That is about as fast as you're going to be. Really solid performance there by Wholesome Halfwits. Let's see if we can get somebody from over there to join us for a little conversation. All right, so while we're waiting to hear back from them, I mean, it's got to be Malaville Series MVP, right? It just
Oh, definitely. The
Malaville.
Ultimates were game changing. The Dragon Queens were game changing. I've never seen a support look so confident going into any kind of team fight. When his team needed him to get them out, he was there. Hi there.
Howdy.
Who do we have? And let me turn you up. Okay, first of all, we've been saying, how do you pronounce the name?
Jelly. The C is silent.
The C is silent. See, I was arguing the J was silent. Maybe it was Selly, but it's actually Dr. Jelly. All right.
Yep, Dr. Jelly.
All right.
Beautiful.
All right. And whoops. I left the lobby for a second inexplicably. And our series MVP, Malaville, showing how to carry on support. How are you doing today?
Well, thanks.
All right, let me come in a little stuff. I got to turn you guys up. Make sure you're being here. So, how you guys feeling after that? Pretty impressive win there.
I'm feeling pretty good. I always love playing Abathur whenever I can play him.
Yeah, we were in the draft. We were throwing around the idea that you guys might have picked an Abba with a little bit of hesitation. With the Dahaka over there, sometimes that can kind of negate some of that global presence. But you guys really pulled it off. Alex pulled it all together too. Statistically speaking, you guys were really close. Are you surprised it went a 2-0 like that, especially as kind of one-sided as that game 2 was?
Well, I think the game 2 had a lot of different strategies, probably that Division D isn't used to. It's not Juice Pirates, but it's still pretty cheesy sometimes. I thought they were good games. I think they were starting to get scared of us, though, at the beginning of the second one. They needed to try and kill us, or blow us up a little more.
Yeah, if you lose an early game to an ABBA comp like that, you're going to be in some trouble. And when you guys go watch this replay cast, because we're all players and so we know you're going to do it, the third tribute spawn, the Dragon Queen timing was so perfect to allow you guys to capture that and really turn that game around after losing the first two. So how do you guys feel going forward? Do you know who you're going to play yet next week?
Next week we play the 1 seed, MHS Tigers.
Oh, that's a tall order. They've looked good in your division.
They have.
Jinxie, what do you got? Any questions?
One trick is going on vacation, though, so...
Ooh.
Anything from you, Jinxie Cat, for these guys?
Looking at the first game, it was a little butt clenching, I guess, for lack of a better word. I can't think now. In the early game, how did you guys feel about that? What were comms like? How did you come back from that? Because if I recall, they were up 4 kills to nothing on you before the first altar had even spawned.
Well, I think it's pretty typical when you have Kerrigan early on that she's going to get a couple of picks, so we were prepared for that. And then we knew that they'd pull ahead slightly, and then our goal was just to get a couple of picks of our own and then line up level 10. And then once we had level 10, we knew that we were just gonna beat them in the team fight.
Okay, because I have to say we were both just talking back and forth in the casting. How did you feel about the instant Deckard Cain respect ban? Because those were some gnarly stay a whiles. Like every single time, get your team out, engage. We were just like, oh, the Siler or the sleep.
Well, the nice thing about Deckard and Alex Straza, a little bit of communication goes a long way. So I was just telling them when and how I was going to ult, and then our Dragon did a really nice job linking up the Apocalypse with my ult, so it was just worked. A little bit of communication goes a long way with those two healers.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, yeah.
For
I
sure.
definitely agree.
That first boss you guys took in that game too, your whole team just standing in a circle as you just repeatedly pelted them with Cleansing Flame over and over and over again. I mean, there was just no way those guys were going to win that team fight with how you guys executed that in your little circle. So it was really nice team synergy to see working with that Alex Straza ulti.
Yep. Pretty much when I play her, I just play back, and then if you just do the combo correctly, she puts out an absurd amount of healing. A lot of people don't realize how much healing she can put out. 15-second window.
Well, any closing thoughts before we let you guys go celebrate your advancement into the semifinals?
I got one shout out. One of our players, Bubba, broke his pinky.
Oh, no.
Oh.
But other than that, I think I'm good. It was a good set of games.
Well, good luck next week versus the number 1 seed. Certainly a tall order, but after a set like that, you got to be feeling good. And Jinxie Cat, any shout-outs for you this fine evening?
I just want to say thank you so much to both teams for putting on an exciting series. It was fun to cast. Thanks to my team who came to support me at my first NGS casting gig. Thank you to you, Mongoose, for having me on. And that's all I really have to say.
Well, thank you for coming on. I have done, and if I were to guesstimate, somewhere between 60 and 70 casts now between Chair League and Nexus Gaming Series. And it is way more fun having somebody to bounce things off of. And I have a little bit of a dry personality, so actually interacting with someone lets me bring myself out a little more as opposed to staring at myself on the screen. So thank you so much for coming on. And I am not done for the evening. I am going to transition from the pilot seat to the co-pilot seat as I go co-cast with Professor Bobo at 8 o'clock, Division B West. My division, I get to watch Divine 9 and Moto Miracle square off. Division B West, like Division B East, is really competitive. Anybody can take a game off of anybody, so it should be a fantastic set. Be sure to come by if you want to keep watching good heroes. And thanks again, Jinxie Cat. Open invitation. You're always welcome to come back anytime.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, everybody head over there, watch those games. I know I will be. That sounds really exciting.
So thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful night, and we'll catch everyone in the Nexus.
See you later. Thanks so much for watching.